Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And what was the last Clint Eastwood movie you watched?
Last Clint Eastwood movie I watched? I want to say I'm actually working on a science fiction story right now. I mean, it's not going to be made anytime soon whatsoever, but there's some Western elements to it. And I was watching For a Few Dollars More for inspiration because I really love the bad guy in that movie.
That was a really good one.
The bad guy in that, the reason he's kind of, if you think about it, he's kind of like, I don't know if he took from this, but he's kind of like proto Heath Ledger's Joker. If you look at the villain, because he's always kind of hunched over. He doesn't exactly know what he's doing all the time. He's like a couple of steps ahead of everybody else, but at the same time, doesn't look like he's not there.
He's not all the way there at the same time too.
Yeah, and there's parts where he does genius things, but he's like the guy's also just does stupid things at the same time. So you have no idea really
what's gonna happen each time.
Yeah, and there's that part where he comes in. He's one of my favorite parts in any Clint Eastwood movie. There's not even Clint Eastwood in it, but this part's so badass when he comes in. He's all like. He goes back to some old the guy. He plays the pocket watch. He says we shoot when the pocket watch ends or whatever. Where's the pocket watch playing a little tune, and he says like, "You turned me in and started a family. That makes them my family. I take my half back." He takes the family around the corner and shoots them.
Yeah, that one's my favorite one out of the trilogy.
Yeah, same here. I mean, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. They're all
really
good.
Like
a hair away.
But I think For a Few Dollars More is the best one. It's kind of funny. At U.S. Bank, there's this thing that says to win. This sounds weird, but it's like, do you want to win a fistful of dollars and stuff? I always want to go to the lady and go like, how do I get a few dollars more?
She probably wouldn't get the joke.
I don't think anybody would get that joke because that's
from like 1970 something.
That's kind of I always feel that's kind of the lost movie of the trilogy. You always hear about the Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and a lot of times you hear about Fistful of Dollars, but you seem to never hear about A Few Dollars More as much, unless it's from fans of it, obviously.
Yeah, unless you.
And even when you go to the store, I remember when I was like trying to find A Few Dollars More. That was the harder one to find. It's like I could always find Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And I could always find A Fistful of Dollars. I mean, now they sell it like in a trilogy, no matter where you go. But before they had these things called trilogies and a box set, we had to buy them individually.
Oh, the golden age. Yeah, this is almost becoming the Eastwood cast now. But
I know.
With a little bit of Batman here and there.
Well, I was watching Play Misty for me like 2 days ago or something. That movie's so good.
Play Misty?
It's the very first movie he directed.
I never seen that one.
It's like 1971. It's a really cool story because it's like Clint Eastwood's this radio DJ in Carmel, which is like cool. I just get to walk across the street to go to work. But so he's this radio DJ, and then there's like this chick that always calls on the radio. She's like, "Can you play Misty for me?" Which is like an old jazz song.
Yeah.
At that time, it was like already 30 years old. Now it's like 80 years old, that song.
I know it's not that, but what comes to mind is that part in Casablanca when the girl walks in. Play the song for me, will you, Dan?
Yeah. That song will actually tie into a later part of this podcast.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
I will.
But, so, like, this chick always does that. And then he goes to this bar, and it's kind of cool. He's got Don Siegel, the director of, like, Dirty Harry and a bunch of other Clint Eastwood movies and stuff. He plays the bartender. And there's a chick there or whatever. So Clint Eastwood has this one-night stand to make things, like, quick with this lady.
He has a one-night stand like in every movie.
Here's the difference between the
or
other
he punches him in the face. One or the other.
Well, that happens in this movie, too. But,
all right. 2 for the price of 1.
But here, this chick just keeps coming back. She just keeps coming back. At first, she seems really nice, but she's just always there. Like, oh, I just showed up at your house. Like, what are you doing here? I didn't call. Well, I thought we'd just have dinner together. So he's just being stalked by this chick the whole time. But he really wants to, like, marry this other girlfriend that he's got.
Oh, so this is kind of like a suspense drama
It's like a suspense horror.
Really?
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood's gonna get raped in the movie?
He got raped in that movie The Rookie with Charlie Sheen. Not by Charlie Sheen.
I was gonna ask. He looks a lot bigger than Charlie Sheen, so I don't know.
Now that'd be the strange movie. You're like, oh cool, I'm gonna go see this buddy cop movie. You're like, they're that buddy.
Charlie, why are you pulling over? Why, Charlie, no, let go of my
Charlie,
hair.
I'm just an old man.
No, man, let go of my hair, Charlie. Winning!
Well, if that doesn't give me an Oscar, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
But no, you should really check out that.
I could quit you.
No, you should really check out that Play Misty for me. It's like I almost don't want to say more about it because like suspense movies, you kind of just want to explain like the bare bones concept and just say like fucking see it.
Yeah, you can't explain. You can't really.
Or else it's like you kind of like really technically before I like watch that movie back, I didn't know that's what it was. I just like play Missing where I just was like, oh, that looks cool. I didn't realize it was a horror suspense movie. It's like, oh, much more different than I thought.
A flick I watched a little bit ago. This isn't Clint Eastwood related, but a movie I just got done watching. I started watching like a month or two ago, but I just let go. I was watching clips of it on YouTube. I was watching like an order. Mm-hmm. I was watching Fritz the Cat.
Yeah, that movie just came in today for me on Netflix.
It did?
It's supposed to come in yesterday, but for something is going up my Netflix in the last couple weeks. Where like Netflix only takes 3 days. Uh-huh. I send it in Monday. I get the next movie by Wednesday. For some reason, though, in the last 2 weeks, a couple of movies have been coming 4 days late. And I'm not that picky like that. I just wonder, it's like, I know it's not Netflix. What's going on there? So somebody really good at like opening that up, watching the DVD, then slamming it back in.
Somebody at the post office.
But I know everybody at the post office, so it's like, I don't know who this could be. Maybe there's a middleman between, here and Sacramento.
Is that where they get it from? Sacramento?
Yeah, Sacramento's the station where the Netflix one is for here.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. That could be...
I like how I have to go in these conspiracy things where it's like, the mail! There's something going on with the mail!
Well, it could be someone at the post office. They got a lot of time to kill. They're like,
that's true,
Spencer will forgive me!
Yeah.
He knows
like,
me.
I know everybody at the post office, though. That's the thing.
You're probably the only person
that knows everybody's name at the post office.
Aside from that, probably under the age of 53 that still goes to the post office there. I mean, it makes sense because I
don't live in an area where like they can deliver stuff, and I take packages.
I mean, yeah, we live in this like foothill town, but you live all the way up in the mountains.
I live beyond foothills. I am mountain man.
You live like 45 minutes.
So we're not like those mountain men that you see on that like weird History Channel ad of the movie theater.
Yeah, like they're all playing "Be a Simple Kind of Man," doing like the Scott Snyder 300 shit.
Yeah,
which I got.
He's like shooting a fucking like deer at like point blank range of his bow and arrow.
And they all like have the ZZ Top beard going.
Yeah.
No, but
you're checking out Fritz the Cat though.
Yeah, I was checking out Fritz the Cat, and I gotta say, because I was one of those movies I was watching it that I just kind of fell behind on it. That just slipped my mind. I came back to finishing it. That's a good movie, but it really is almost kind of like you got to be in a certain state of mind to watch that flick.
Well, sometimes movies like that too, and it's like. It's kind of like A Clockwork Orange, like we said. You can't just show that movie to anybody. You can't just have like a girl over for like the first date, be like, "Oh, so what are you watching?" I got this movie you'll like. 10 minutes into it, just like, "Oh my god, there's a rape." Yeah,
3 minutes.
I'm kind of into rape.
You adjust your shit as you say that.
You go up, you fucking bolt the door shut, close the windows.
It's a bad part of town, if you get what I mean. No, anyway.
You like absence?
No, I haven't done that one yet. No, but this flick, I thought, all right, here's the
actually,
thing.
really into the book, I'm kind of into 10-year-old girls, actually.
Because, yeah, in the book, he's 14.
And the girls are 10 years old. Instead of,
movie,
like, being, like, 18 and the girls are 16 or whatever.
Yeah, in the movie, he's, like, 17 or 18, and they're, like, around the same age. In the book, that makes the book that much more weirder. There's something about the book. I'll get on Fritz the Cat in a second, but I think I like the movie more, but... Actually, well, I don't know. Maybe,
I really like them. I like them about like just the same. Like, I guess there's something like they each have their own little thing about them. Like the movie's fucking amazing, and the book's fucking amazing.
Because the thing about it, like when you watch the movie, you're like, what was the fucking point of Pete? Pete's the friend that stands there. He might say one word, but generally he just stands there. What was the fucking point of that character? And then you come around at the end because when you get to the end of the movie, when the cops beat him up, the cops are
his buddies, 2 of them.
It's no, what Dole? What was Dole? Dim and Georgie. And you find out that in the book that Georgie was killed by robbing a house while Alex was in prison. And then you find out that like Billy Bob or Billy Ray, whatever his name is, was actually the guy they're fighting at the beginning trying to rape that chick. One of the rapes in the movie, one of the many rapes. You find out that guy and Dim became friends and both became police officers. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, well, whatever about Pete? And then it jumps after,
he's the guy's like, went straight, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
And after he jumps out of the window at the end of the movie, it has that whole part like, oh yeah, he's back to being a psycho again. But the book continues from there. It has one more chapter where you find out
he is still doing it, but he's realizing I'm kind of getting older now. This stuff doesn't appeal to me nearly as much.
Yeah, and then what ends up happening, he bumps into Pete, and Pete hasn't done it since Alex went to prison.
It's like, yeah, I got this hot wife now.
Everything's going good.
I work in the city, making some money.
Everything's going good for him, and that right there, he decides to change his life around. So, and I like that ending more.
Yeah. So, Alex, you guys still got a couple kids hanging around you? Yeah. Bossing them around.
Oh, me and me mates.
This is little mate.
I don't remember what his other friends were called.
I have no idea what those ones are like.
I only read the book once, but yeah, it was a good book. The thing is, I think the book was the book at first when you first read it, it's hard to it choked down a little bit just because the narration. Because my brothers meet Shyamalan.
Because it's got like that mix of like English and Russian slang.
Yeah.
But I always felt like, but by about halfway in the book, you finally start to get it. So it's like you almost want to read that book and then the second after is reread it so that you know all this slang pretty well.
Yeah. Still a great book though, and still a great movie. But anyway, Fritz the Cat though, relating to Clockwork Orange.
About same time period, just about.
Same time period.
Early 70s.
Well, the thing about that is, I could watch Clockwork Orange easier. I think what makes Fritz the Cat just so weird, it just seems like the weirdest biased thing to say. It's a cartoon, and there's even more sexual stuff in probably Fritz the Cat than there is Clockwork Orange, and they're all animal creatures. That's the thing.
And they're animated.
They're animated. That's the thing about it. So I mean, I still enjoyed it. When was the last time you watched that flick?
I never got to see that one. I've always wanted to watch it, and I finally just got it. I've never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen the flick? So,
no, that's one of those ones I've never seen. I've known about it for a long time. Like, it's something that's like I always see. And I was like, I should watch that. I should watch that. And you know just how it goes in life. There's so many movies out there. You can only get around to so many so quickly, I guess.
That was the first Ralph Bakshi film, right?
I think that was the first one he did like all his own company and stuff. Because all the other Ralph Bakshi movie or stuff he did before, he just animated for other people's companies like Mighty Mouse and whatever what's that one company called?
Filmation.
I don't think that. Well, it's the one that did Mighty Mouse and all those ones like that.
Okay. I know Filmation at some point did Mighty Mouse, not the original, but at some point they did.
No, this would be Mighty Mouse back in the olden day Mighty Mouse.
Okay. But this one right here, this movie was, I'd say, it's weird. We don't have any problem spoiling it for the pod for the listeners, but when it comes to the co-host, like, I don't know if I want to spoil it for you. So, yeah. It's generally just kind of like this college kid who happens to be a cat, kind of bumming around the New York scene.
Are they all animals? Like everybody's an animal.
Everybody in it's an animal.
Okay.
And there's this thing they'll do between scene transitions. They'll do this thing like, I guess you can say, if you think about it, I'm not trying to put the guy down because clearly he had a limited budget, but they have these things where they'll just have like, all right, they're because there's some stuff about racism and whatnot. Like all the crows in the movie, they're supposed to be like African Americans and just the black movement and all that. Because it takes place in the late 60s, I believe. The movie it came out in the 70s. It takes place in the late 60s, maybe early 60s, and so they'll have some like. There's a part where it transitions to a different scene, and you see a picture of the city, and you see a crow just snapping his fingers, bobbing back and forth to like some kind of like little jazz beat or blues beat in the background, and then goes on to the next scene. So sometimes they'll have that. I think it's like they'll think it means more, but we just need filler to make this thing expand out, because there's a lot of scenes kind of like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scenes kind of like where a character will... he just got done having a drug trip or something, so a bunch of psychedelic colors for like a minute or so, 2 minutes maybe, and then back to this new scene kind of thing.
Well, that's kind of like it's like I watched special features on Wizards, and it's kind of the same thing you said at that movie too. It's like at the very end, it's like I need to finish that final battle scene, but we don't got any more money.
Yeah,
and he's like he went to because it was at the same time that Star Wars being made, and him and George Lucas were sitting in the office at the same time, and they're both trying to ask for money. He was like, I just need like $50,000. George was like, I need like $5 million to finish this movie.
Was it Star Wars or was it Empire Strikes Back?
No, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's both
okay.
Probably 75.
Oh, okay.
Or 76 when they're making it still.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out later, but I was just thinking because that literally Wizards came out 2 weeks before Star Wars.
Really? It did? And Mark Hamill was in that too.
Yeah, he plays like that little like elf thing that's like it's like raped and murdered. He doesn't get raped.
He gets like mowed down. Yeah. You saw the part I was talking about.
I was laughing so hard at that part.
Because what happens, it's funny about that part of the movie.
Like, oh, we're the little fairy village.
It's funny because you don't expect it. Someone just from a distance just mows him down. You don't see it coming whatsoever. I was thinking maybe Mark Hamill was like the main elf thing, the badass elf thing in the flick.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking he was too, because I saw his name in there. I was like, oh. I'm like, oh, no, he was actually
He was the little fairy thing?
Yeah.
Well, no, Fritz the Cat, I mean, if you really like film, check it out. I'm going to say, don't watch it with your parents or anything.
Even though it comes from your parents' generation.
Yeah, it's still...
Unless your parents are like, kind of cool. Yeah.
There's a part when there's like
your dad sits in the back corner, snapping his fingers to jazz tunes while wearing sunglasses.
Indoors.
Indoors. Maybe.
No, but there's a part...
And he hasn't worked a job in 40 years.
and
he just tries to,
relates.
like, pedal off his art.
Well, this with the cat, it's kind of like about that whole like free love movement and all that stuff and the whole hippie movement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's generally, he's just bumming around the United... Well, it goes to the end, he starts trying to bum around the United States, but him just kind of like, fuck school, man. Anti-establishment all the way, man. It kind of goes into both the good side of that and the bad side of that. So it's acknowledging...
Well, I know his movies are always kind of either about like that 60s radical movement, even if it carries on to the 70s, or they're fantasy-based movies. Mm-hmm. It seems like that's the two things he's always going for.
Where Wizard seems to be both of those.
Yeah, Wizard seems to keep kind of both, and it's going...
More fantasy, but...
And that's like the first one he does kind of fantasy, and he calls that his like children's film. Which is kind of funny because it's like, it's a children's movie if your children are like,
13?
Yeah.
Well, even then, though, that movie still had some stuff. Like, there's the part where they
still has like adult-oriented stuff.
Well, there's the whole part. I mean, it's still making radical statements. I mean, maybe not radical now. I mean, for the time, there's the part like they go to the church, like we gotta. This is let us pray to our Lord first, and they're all like just and they're like slapping each other on the ass with the cross and shit like that.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they just look at each other. What do we do? I don't know. And then like they just like blow the church up with those guys in it.
Well, because like the way that Ralph Bakshi said it in like the special features, he's all like, pretty much, I want to make a children's movie that wasn't lying to kids like Disney does. Seems like he really hated Disney. It's like, fuck Disney and fuck them lying to children.
Everything he does, it does have. Oh, there's actually a part. I want to say this. There's a part where there's this whole riot, like Fritz. Actually, there's a part where he gets high and fucks this old black crow, this old lady black crow. She's like, been around, she's done some shit. Like, hold it, Fritz, come on, baby, kind of like that. And he's like, you guys have been oppressed for too long. He goes and starts a riot, like in the middle of, I think it's Harlem or something. Like rise up against your oppressors, do this, do that. Then all of a sudden the cops come and it just turns into this big bloody riot. And at some point you see like jets flying in to Harlem, get ready to launch a bomb. And then like silhouetted, you see Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, yay, America, whoa, do it! Waving flags, all excited.
That's awesome.
So...
Well, the next movie he did, I didn't get to see this one yet because they don't have it on Netflix. I gotta like just buy it. It's not that expensive, but it's called Coonskin.
That's related to, I didn't see it, but that's related to the crows, because I saw just a screenshot. I saw the crows look in whatchamacallit, in Fritz the Cat.
Yeah. I think that kind of continues, and then there's like the one that came afterwards called like Hey Good Lookin' that just got released on DVD.
And then there's also one...
Like, literally, like, 2 months ago.
I don't know if he did it, but there's a sequel called The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat. I don't know if
that he didn't do that. I was reading that one on the internet. It was like, it's done by somebody else. It's just... I think MGM just said, well, let's just make another one of these.
Well, I know the original Fritz the Cat, I'll say this, the original comic, it ends differently. Apparently in the comic, he dies, and this one has a little bit more of an optimistic ending.
That's what I'm saying. It kind of seems how movies sort of go.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious, because there is a character in the movie he just totally fucks over. And at the very end of this movie, it's just like, oh, whatever, and so I'm wondering if in the book, if that's the character that comes in and kills him or something.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to check out that at some point in time. No, he's actually... I just kind of fell into this hole of just... Because I was watching it on YouTube, just going like clip and clip, just from like part 1 to part 8 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I just fell in that endless hole of just related videos on the side. And there is like... He did one called Fire and Ice.
Oh, that's that's a really good movie.
I watched a few segments of that. That looked like that was the animation. That's amazing. He rotoscoped that.
It's all kind of like a Conan. They shoot it all like in live action, and then they rotoscope draw it, which is like he kind of started doing that. I think like Lord of the Rings has that. Mm-hmm. That one has that.
Did he do Lord
American Pop has that.
Did he do the Hobbit?
He didn't do the Hobbit.
He did.
Now, here's what happened. He did the Lord of the Rings thing. And he got halfway through it because his whole idea was like, I'm just going to make the sequel. It's such a long story, might as well just do them in 2 parts. And he was never able to do it. So the people that did the Hobbit show bought the rights to his like kind of like Lord of the Rings thing. So they did the Return of the King one, but it's in the style of the Hobbit, yet it's sort of a continuation of his. That makes any sense. It's kind of weird.
No, yeah, it kind of happens that way.
Which I haven't seen. I don't think I've ever seen the Return of the King one, but I saw like the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings one when I was a kid. That was like the first one I ever saw of his movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I never saw the Lord of the Rings one. I saw the Hobbit, and actually going into Lord of the Rings, I saw the Hobbit as a kid, and then I went to go see Lord of the Rings in theaters when it came out, and just the open, like, oh shit, this is a sequel to that thing? You know what I mean? Because I didn't know what Lord of the Rings really was. And
but then everything clicked right for a second.
I knew it was an old fantasy book, but the second I saw the whole thing with him grabbing the ring and God, I'm precious off in the distance, like, oh shit, this is a continuation.
An animated one.
Yeah. So, but no, I wouldn't mind checking out the his
Lord of the Rings one. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Because to me, it's like those ones like, it's like whatever, it doesn't finish because I already know what the ending is. It's, you know, I could see at the time being like, man, we're going to see the end of that.
Whatever, just as a
Gonna
whole
wait
thing,
25 years.
Man, the Orcs trying to press us, man. What the fuck? You know, I could see him being around that.
But no, you should
Gandalf
really check
is
out
all
that
like-
Fire and Ice, though. That thing is really cool.
I saw parts of it. The whole thing looked kind of like a Boris. I don't know. I mean, it looked kind of like just a Boris Villaggio painting, just kind of like all as one movie right there.
Yeah, it has really cool animation in it. It's pretty good. So, yeah, it's like Conan, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's really cool. It's like the art's done, like the art's like based off this guy called like Frank Frazetta.
Oh, I know that guy. I mean, I don't really know all of his work,
But you know
but I
of
know
that guy. Yeah, who does a lot of that cool kind of Conan art. Yeah, fantasy art.
Yeah. No, I know a lot about that. Well, not a lot, but I know about that. Like when I was a kid, this is actually kind of a confession right here. But when you're a kid, you don't really have like internet or anything. So if you went to like a Barnes and Nobles or like a Borders or something, went to the fantasy section, Frank Frazetta and other guys like him would always have these art books of just like, you know, like half naked chicks fighting fucking like monsters and shit like that. As a kid, you didn't really get a whole lot. You didn't have internet, and plus you're smart. I was smart enough to realize there's a trace. Like, this is all I got. I'll take it on me. So you just be hunched over in a corner looking at that, like, don't judge me.
Like, and then you just see the guy walk by, like, oh fuck, there's another 10-year-old in here getting all primal.
There's drawn boobs, you know.
But yeah, so like the main art's like made by him, and then they kind of do the animation over it. But that one's really cool.
Yeah.
And then there's one you should really see though called American Pop.
What's that one exactly?
That one, it's almost like the sequel to Fiddler on the Roof.
Really?
It really is, because the movie starts off and it's the Jews escaping Russia. So it's literally like the end of Fiddler on the Roof. And so what it is, it's kind of like the story of like Jews through like America. They come to the U.S. and it goes through like I think three kind of family members, and the fourth one's not related to the family. Where like, and it's all kind of based around music. The first guy who's in the U.S., he kind of sings and dances like in those old, like, the turn of the centuries, like, you know, they get on stage and there's like the weird horse thing there and they're dancing, and then there's the burlesque dancing and all that stuff, and he sings. Kind of like some like traveling roadshow type thing.
Yeah.
And then it kind of progresses on, and then his son, you know, he gets older and his son's bored or whatever, and his son plays piano a lot. And this is where, and they use music from like the times, but they make it kind of like, okay, this guy plays this song, though it's a song we all know somebody else does. So his son's playing the song lots of times from Casablanca.
Oh, really?
That's where that ties into.
He had another one called...
and then it keeps going. I just want to keep going.
Okay.
It's kind of cool how it goes. And then, like, he goes from there, and that guy's kind of... He's in World War II, and it just kind of goes through, like, you know, the American things. And then his next son, he can't play music, he can't sing, but he writes. So he's, like... He like, hobos it out to, like, San Francisco, and he's, like, in a Jefferson Airplane-like band or whatever, and he's, like, the writer for all the music.
That we built this city, they sing that or anything?
No, not Jefferson Starship, but...
I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Same fucking thing.
But they use guest songs. Like, the only person they don't use songs is, like, this part where Jimi Hendrix playing, but it's, like, it's actually Jimi Hendrix. It's not like, it's like, yeah, Jimi Hendrix, he's just up there on stage. And they're like, man, we have to go after Hendrix.
It's like an animated Hendrix?
Yeah. So it looks kind of cool.
I'll have to check that one out.
And then it goes on, and then there's, like, a boy that they, like, adopt in, like, this band that's, like, all, like, hopped up on drugs and, like, failing. And then him and the boy, like, are poor, and they, like, move to New York or whatever, and the boy takes over, and then, like, kind of like ends in the 80s, and the boy's kind of, like, almost like in a David Bowie likeness.
Is this animation kind of like more of a...
It's kind of like the Fire and Ice.
Cat? Oh, it's like that.
It's all rotoscoped.
Okay.
Kind of.
Well, Fritz the Cat's even rotoscoped. It's just they're
rotoscoped in a sense. Like,
they're unrealistic characters. You can tell from the movements.
This one, it looks almost like you're watching a live action movie.
Oh, okay.
It just happens to be animated.
That's the way Fire and Ice looked from the
kind of like
because I looked at the trailer and I looked at like one battle scene in the movie.
It's kind of like, you know, like that movie that Richard Linklater did, Scanner Darkly.
Yeah,
it's like that. That's like modern rotoscoping.
They just put like a cell shade filter over it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're like modern rotoscoping where it doesn't take any effort, and people don't have to like draw out like 2,000 pages.
Yeah. No, I saw. Well, I didn't see it, but there's a trailer for one of his other movies called Heavy Traffic.
Yeah, that's another one. That's like the one that came right after Fritz the Cat.
Which I remember seeing the trailer for it. Like, it's funny, but it's not a comedy. It's like it's effective, but it's not a drama. You know, it's like it's real, baby. It's heavy. It's heavy traffic. I kind of like those commercials.
I love those like they're late '60s, early '70s trailers.
Like going back up to Clint Eastwood for a second, like on the Fistful of... I remember like it was for a few dollars more. It's like actually, not the full Fistful. It's actually Good, Bad, and the Ugly. It's like Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef. You remember them, don't you? They excited you last summer with a few dollars more. Well, this summer it's good, bad, and the ugly, you know? Which the guy's literally talking to you. You remember them, don't you? Fucking idiot. Come on. Don't be stupid.
How are you stupid? You were there. I saw you.
I sat right behind you.
I stole your girlfriend that night.
I'm everywhere. We gotta hire the new voiceover. This guy just keeps on going crazy in the recording booth.
Then they got like that guy who's like in the late 70s who's like, I have a deep voice.
Yeah.
Dawn
In a
from the
war.
dead.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not that guy yet. Not
That's the 80s. That's 80s and 90s.
No, that guy's the guy who came like in the 90s. And then they just said like, fuck those guys. Fuck them. People are just gonna read from now. We're just gonna put music in there. I don't know why people think that's corny nowadays, like the talking over the movie.
It could work.
I think it's cool. Like, as well as I personally think trailers were much better when somebody like talked.
Well, then you got the guys.
I mean, you still got the fucking words up there, but it's just like it feels like, well, we were too cheap to hire that guy because he's like asking like $10,000. I'm like, fuck that guy, fuck him and his only job he does.
Do you get some of the grindhouse guys who were just very deep and just almost being kind of like, you can tell he just brought in like the janitor and it's like, here, read this shit.
Yeah, here, you smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day, right?
Yeah.
But I really like it's kind of like that Play Misty for me had like one of those like really like ridiculous trailers where it's just like flashing back and forth between scenes. Like you really had no idea what the fuck was going on.
You see the trailer to The Getaway? It is one of the funniest trailers
that one,
ever.
They just like cut 5 scenes together that made no sense.
Well, it's like, if I remember correctly, it was
just like I don't think there's any music over it or anything.
I think it was just like from Sam Peckinpah, director of The Wild Bunch. It's The Getaway, featuring Steve McQueen, and it just shows a bunch of footage. There's no music over it, just different scenes, like Steve McQueen driving and shooting, like Ellie, bruh. I drew a brink on her fucking name, but you get the point. At some point, I remember there's like, because it opens up, they're just saying there's the part where they're counting down people in prison. It's just him walking. He's like, I got a job for you. Then it cuts to like, them getting in the car, driving off, and then it cuts to like the part when like I guess you'd say the main bad guy of the movie, I think he has marshmallows or chips or something. He's in the back of the car. He's throwing it at the girl. I don't like this game anymore. Then it cuts to more shooting and more like cars spinning around.
Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Then it cuts to the part where Steve McQueen and the girl like swimming in the lake, fully clothed, making out. So it does not. It's so incoherent.
I love when they just kind of do trailers like that. Or actually, it goes back to Clockwork Orange. That one has probably one of the coolest trailers of all time.
Well, at least that made sense because it was just.
It makes sense, but it's just really that's such a cool trailer.
Because what it was just a bunch of stuff like in fast motion that.
It's just like and it's just showing like a quick shot of a scene and a quick word like at the same time.
It'd be like violence, sex, horror,
like flashing.
Yeah.
That's a great trailer.
That is a good trailer. I mean, that at least has a steady vibe throughout the whole thing. Where this was just kind of like Ally McGraw, I think her name is. I think Ally McGraw. Ally McGraw and Steve McQueen making out, and then all of a sudden, just like car flipping over, and like, I got a job for you. Another car flipping over,
Well, it's just saying, it's like, you're a man, you like action, right? Steve McQueen, The Getaway, Sam Peckinpah.
Yeah, there you go.
Be here or die.
He's threatening again. Just read what's on the paper, Steve.
That guy.
Yeah, but no. But what was I gonna say regarding that stuff?
The only thing is, I wonder, it's like, okay, going back to
yeah,
I drew a blank really quickly.
Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah, Ralph Bakshi movies. It felt like he hasn't really done anything, and it seems like a while.
Is he still alive?
I think he's still alive because all the special features, he's like old and Jewish and still alive.
Did he do whatchamacallit? He did Cool World, right?
He did Cool World.
That was the last movie he did?
And he did another movie like in 1995. It was like a live action movie.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just had like people just like, it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes
And Cool World is kind of one of those ones, like, it was interesting, but it felt too cartoony to me. And I'm not like, that one's just like, it's got Brad Pitt in it.
Well, I saw it when I was a kid, and I barely remember it. I remember there was like a jive talking spider that looked like something out of a Betty Boop cartoon. I remember.
Yeah, it felt like more like very very old fashioned-y cartoon things.
Yeah, I remember there was a blonde hooker chick or something that was the main villain of it. Mm-hmm. And she, at the very end, they're like, I remember they're on a ledge of a building at the end, and she gets sucked into like a thing of lipstick or a pen or something like that.
Yeah, so I only watched it once, and
I barely remember.
I was being like, I was like, oh, this is okay. It's as good as you framed Roger Rabbit.
Then Brad Pitt dies when they take him to the cartoon world where he can live there and he becomes a cartoon character. And
he's like, whoa, what cartoon?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, cool, I can fuck this chick now, it won't be weird. Because, like, in Brad Pitt, like, a lot of times in some of those early Brad Pitt movies, Brad Pitt's kind of like, whoa, I'm kind of partially retarded.
California with a K.
No, not that one. Not that movie. I'm talking about earlier than that.
Even that movie, he's still kind of partially retarded.
That one more that movie was like just fucking hilarious.
He's like, stinking bitch.
Stinking bitch. I'm Brad Pitt.
I only saw half the movie. I never finished the last half of it.
That's a good one. No, I'm talking about those early Brad Pitt movies where he's just kind of like, whoa, I'm sexy.
I don't know why. He's just gonna him.
I don't know. There's a movie I have called Cutting Class. It's like his first movie. It's like a horror movie. And he's kind of like the
Sounds like it would be.
Like the yo, bro, babe, I'm a douche. Kind of like that, but like I'm kind of dumb though, but I'm good looking.
I'm glad he broke out of that model because a lot of times they try and force you in that model, and that could only into like a certain like type, and that you can only be there for so long before like shit. He got old. This is just kind of weird and creepy now.
Yeah. And then he just kind of went to like this, like he went from like that. They went to like that California was like, I'm a crazy hillbilly.
Yeah. Then he did Fight Club.
He did this other movie that was like it both had Juliette Lewis in it. It was like Brad Pitt and her were in it too. It came out like right after California, and it was kind of like it was really almost like the same thing. They're both like trailer trash people or whatever and stuff. I watched off like Netflix.
Remember that part? Like, you put that goddamn titty away.
Yeah, don't forget that titty. Yeah, there's another one too where it's like it was more basically like Juliette Lewis was like the main character. Brad Pitt was just this kind of guy at the bar who was pretty much just like hustling her.
Oh, okay.
It was like a made for TV movie too, but it was like kind of like just about like you're a fucking trailer trash whore and you ended up killing somebody and now you're gonna. And it was like it was one of the time I think in the movie they said like it was the first underage girl to get put to the death chair.
Really?
Yeah, because like Brad Pitt talked her into like doing like this crime and people got killed.
It's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And she actually.
This is not California. This is
and did she actually get the death chair?
Yeah, in the real life. Yeah.
Huh. So. Is this in Tennessee or something, or is this
probably
in the
South?
South, yeah.
The South, they're like, you did wrong, boy. Time for you to die.
Go the way of Old Yeller.
It's an honorable death.
No, but what was I gonna say? He did. I think it was generally Fight Club is kind of what brought him out of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Fight Club just kind of like. I think that's where people kind of saw Brad Pitt. Like, they always said that like Fight Club. The hard point about selling that movie at first was like, they're like, well, we got Brad Pitt in it. Men don't like Brad Pitt. I think that was the biggest turnaround though, where it went from like, now women are seeming not to like Brad Pitt nearly as much, but men are starting to gravitate towards him.
Yeah.
Because now we live in this age where women seem to not like Brad Pitt nearly as much, and men are like, Brad Pitt, ooh, he is God and King.
Well, after Troy,
I don't know what it is though, but like people like sort of like it's like, oh, Brad Pitt, worship him.
After like,
and women are like, oh, I don't like that Brad Pitt anymore. He's getting old. And girls like, no, Brad Pitt.
They just get all like primal and shit.
Yeah.
Slamming their fist like in hands against the ground, like
Pitt. Because that's kind of how it is. Like men seem to really like Brad Pitt, but women seem to not care too much for him.
Well, I think it was like Troy was another big one.
I think that's not big.
just
I think that boosted him up.
Opening shot when he first comes in that movie, it's just like that guy is all fucking man.
Yeah, just like his man is fuck.
You cannot.
You could have sold that movie just had a picture of him like stabbing that guy like right in the neck, just like man as fuck.
Pretty much, because there is that part. Because I don't know if you can have a better opening. Guy gets up, hungover, has like three chicks all over him. He's like, whatever.
He's fucking late to work, so it's like relatable.
It's like, whatever. Like, he's late to work. I'm late to work. This movie gets me.
I hate my boss. He hates his boss.
Yeah. I don't got three chicks. I don't
got three chicks, but I am the best man at my work.
Yeah.
I hope I am.
Yeah. And then there's the part he just gets up like whatever, just hungover, just like
the boy's like, Achilles, they need you.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, kid. Whatever.
Shut the fuck up, boy.
He's like, I would have.
Where's my bacon sandwich?
My bacon and beef sandwich. That's all it is. The bread is just two steaks.
Yeah.
No, but there's that whole part where like the kids are like, he's like the size of 5 men. I wouldn't want to fight him. He's like, that's why no one's gonna remember your name,
bitch.
Pussy. Gets on. Is that what he says? He doesn't call him bitch, but he's like, that's why.
Yeah, he used that line though. That's why no one's gonna remember your name.
Faggot writes off.
That steak sandwich better be ready by the time I get back. It's only gonna take 5 minutes.
Raises his hand.
Whoa!
I like it well done. But since you're a man, I thought you like it rare. I want it well done because I want to beat the fuck out of you. Hurry it up!
And clean that cum out of my tent.
Yeah. No, but anyway.
See right there, that first 10 minutes of that movie changed. I think that's where men just like, relate. We know our like God now.
Yeah. The only problem with that movie, I mean, I know it's going off the source material, but the only thing with the movie is like, oh, of all the people to get killed by.
Yeah, you know, he's fucking Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
That was not one of those ones where that was like Orlando Bloom's like
Everyone loved him.
Everybody loved him in Lord of the Rings, and then like that movie came out, you're like, dude, that guy's a fucking pussy. And then like Pirates of the Caribbean came out the same time as that movie too, and they're like, oh, dude, Johnny Depp is totally taking over that movie too. Because
I think that originally it was gonna be Orlando Bloom. We're marketing this bitch off Orlando Bloom.
Well, I think they really went like, okay, dude, Lord of the Rings. People seem to like Orlando Bloom the most in that movie. Let's put him as the front of Pirates of the Caribbean. Then we got Johnny Depp. You know, he'll back him up because he's the older actor.
Mm-hmm. And then it kind of comes like, oh, Johnny Depp's the guy everybody likes. So it's kind of like Pink Panther, like how Peter Sellers wasn't meant to be the main character. He just became the main character.
Or like David Niven.
It's kind of like, you know, it's that really, when you think back on Pirates of the Caribbean, it's kind of like, if put in Star Wars terms, it's on Han Solo pistol whipping Luke Skywalker thing out of the way, bitch.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like
which I do love Skywalker.
I love Skywalker, but Han Solo is like the man.
Yeah. No, but no, what was I gonna say regarding that? But I wonder if people like, oh, Orlando Bloom, he's a total fucking pussy. He's like, I was just playing a character. That's a character.
Yeah, that's because you know what? You are. Well, a lot of people take movies like kind of like Tom Cruise. Like they do that too. It's like Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in any movie. A fucking short faggot. And some actually, it's mostly women that are saying that too. And they mostly say it just
voice.
Like that too.
That voice.
Because you don't hear it too much from men. Once again,
they spit out a wad of tobacco.
Cruise, I feel like if Tom Cruise didn't have his male audiences, I don't know if he could show up at the movies anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Tom Cruise,
I don't know what it is about women. It's like women just like if they don't like Brad Pitt, they hate Tom Cruise though. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find a girl that actually says like, you know what, I actually enjoy Tom Cruise a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's getting kind of rare and rare. I think I'm not like a huge fan of Tom Cruise. I think he's fine. I think personally he's a weird guy, but I think his movies... That
has nothing to do with his movies, though.
It has nothing to do with his movies. I think his movies... I mean, it's not so much... It's more like he does a good job at picking the movies he's in. Mm-hmm. I think he does a good job. I like a lot of the... Same thing with Brad Pitt. I think he, for the most part, does a good job at picking his flicks. Mm-hmm. So... and that's kind of the thing that drives me to both their movies if they do. Like every once in a while,
you can mostly trust what their choice is.
I trust probably... I like more Brad Pitt films than I do Tom Cruise movies. But... with the except, I'm not going to see World War Z. We've been over that a million times by now. Yeah. So, no World War Z. Sorry, Brad Pitt. But
it's not his fault though.
It's not. You know, it's his production company.
Is it?
It's his Plan B's his production company.
Oh, really? Damn, that's sad.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is his fault.
It is his fault, but I forgive him.
Like the turn.
I forgive him. Hopefully,
no, I forgive him too. We all know we all make mistakes.
Unless one of those things they just reboot, like they reboot like World War Z just a year later. It kind of starts off or something. This is how I think, you know, how I'll leave that alone. Cause I know you like X-Men 3, so I'll leave that alone. I won't use that example.
Yeah, well, X-Men 3, I think it's once you gotta take a second look at it. I think that's a movie that deserves, like, you know, a second or third look.
I gave it a third look, and I was just
You gave it a third?
Yeah, it was on HBO a few times, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I, like, that's one of those ones, like, at first I remember it not being that good, and when I was watching, I'm like, you know, it's actually probably one of the better ones out of all these ones.
Yeah. I think
that comes from, like, an X-Men fan.
I just don't like how they kill off like a big character like Cyclops.
It's see, I think of it like I think of how movies are made, and I know that a lot of times not all things like that can work. And I know that you don't always need to kill him; you can just say like, "Oh, he's on vacation."
Just get a different actor,
or just do the old fashioned. We don't do that old fashioned thing anymore because now there's like people can't believe anymore that this different actor is the same character.
Yeah,
that used to work a lot in the olden days, but
worked in Dark Knight. But granted, it was a character that nobody was really in love with. So
it worked in like. Well, they didn't really work in, but they did it in Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, they did Mortal Kombat 2 is another example. You didn't have to kill Johnny Cage at the very beginning.
Yeah. It's like
could have just got a different actor. Nobody would have like...
I guess the only thing they must assume, they're like, well, if he's on fucking vacation and shit is going down, what the fuck is he doing on vacation still? Yeah. Let's do the fucking Han Solo thing. Just put him like, it's like, oh, he can't do anything now.
Yeah.
He's stuck like that until somebody comes and releases him out of that.
I was just thinking, just open up. Maybe like World War Z opens up, like because if it ends up being really, which I'm feeling it's gonna be pretty bad, but
yeah.
And they have World War Z 2, just like wakes up like, whoa, I just had the stupidest fucking dream, and then like, you won't believe how fucking ridiculous the zombies ran fast.
Here's a quick flashback of my dream projected on this wall right here.
Yeah, like that's how fucking stupid my dream was.
That dream was fucking stupid.
Oh shit! Look, classic zombies. You know, just all go up from there.
Yeah.
And just go off the stories from that book. No.
But anyway. What made me angry, though, is last night that they didn't show any trailers. Because the projectionist guy's probably the day one of his job, he's probably like, fuck, I can't figure out where this goes. Jeez. easy. You go up there, you know what to do, right? And I said, yeah. Why the fuck did I say yeah? I have no idea what to do. Okay, they tell me the movie's After Earth. Why the fuck is there no case that says After Earth there? Oh, fuck. And why is there a chicken right there? What am I supposed to do with this chicken?
He's like, well, why is this case up right here? I have a question mark on it.
It looks like fucking Dr. Seuss up here.
They just think like, what do they get the fucking...
The guys go there like, geez, Jimmy, I thought you knew what you're doing. Just takes the chicken, shoves it in a hole, and just goes bum, 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 bum.
Da 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 da. Like, there's
like
a cat like turning a crane and like...
This thing's bouncing up and down. It's all colorful and...
I got a Dr. Seuss cartoon. There's like gears turning. It's making quack noises. You know,
it's like as the gears turn, they kind of go like left and right, like unrealistic. Like the machine would probably just break if that was happening, but
the bolts are spinning in and out. You know,
yeah.
And somehow just the movie projects. Fucking simple, Jimmy. Come on, what the fuck's wrong with you? You've been over this. The
fucking
chicken,
dumbass. Chicken goes in the hole. Everything else is good from there.
No, yeah, there was like a 15-20 minute wait.
Which was pretty much all the trailers.
Yeah, all the trailers.
It was kind of weird because you think that's like, okay, we live in a modern age where it's like, is that shit just like automatically play at night, and if you don't get the thing all set up right, it's just going? Because they literally just kind of went like, oh, we finally figured it out, flip the switch, oh, there we go, the movie just started, like, you probably missed about 10 seconds, but whatever.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean,
no trailers for you, bitch.
Kind of did feel that way, sort of. They could have just played the trailers because there was no showing after it, so.
Yeah, I mean, can't they just... That's why I was wondering, like, can't they just, like, restart it? Like,
yeah.
How fucking hard is that?
Well, I think part of the... I think they're just like, oh, it's already 20 minutes in. They probably just want to see the movie. They just probably
I think they go, like... Probably, like, if you ask the general audience, most people probably don't care about the trailers.
Yeah, I like the trailers.
I think it's only if you're really into movies you care about the trailers.
I'm glad we live in this digital age where I can go on YouTube and see whatever brand new trailer came out today. But,
yeah, because it's kind of nice just for the fact that you can see that, and then you watch them again, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, so the flick we saw was After Earth, and I thought it was decent. I liked it. I wasn't blown away by it or nothing, but it was actually, it's probably one of the better M. Night Shyamalan movies, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't think it was like amazing, like, you like, gotta own this, but I think it was like, oh, I enjoyed it. Yeah. It was different. And that's mainly the key thing I always think in movies, as long as it's enjoyable and different.
Now that I'm a little older, I can kind of notice certain things I understand. I mean, I don't know all the details, but I know enough about how the Hollywood system works. And watching this movie, I kind of realized, with the exception of like really good CG animals and like the two main actors, this is a very cheap movie. I was kind of watching
that movie. Are like one of the ones like, because really everybody fucking dies in the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes probably of the movie.
The ship is made out of like honeycomb cereal
really
and like plastic.
It had like this really like primal look to like everything in the movie. It was in the future, but it looked like they kind of lived like a fucking Jurassic days, like caveman. Because like the ship kind of had like a bone structure look to it, and everything kind of had like a cloth or leather kind of look, like they almost just like killed an animal and just put it up and like, there's a computer.
Or kind of like, you know, like beehive or honeycomb kind of thing.
And it kind of had like a mesh look to everything.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was kind of cool because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But it did look like primal.
I think it was supposed to be trying to be kind of like they found a way to integrate technology into organic material.
Well, yeah, it has like an organic feel, so it's more like... Because I think the whole point's like, is it like Republicans have killed the earth of all their pollution?
Yeah, I was one of those kind of things.
Because that's really how the movie started. I just showed a bunch of like footage of like floods and like factories and...
oil tankers burning and shit like that, so... One thing I kind of wish I saw, I mean, this isn't the focus of the movie, but I was kind of curious. I had no idea there was like alien race that they're at war with. It would be cool to see like some
with the aliens. Yeah. Well, it's one of the ones like, as I was watching, I was like, you know, I'd like to actually see more. The story I think was cool enough, and the world design and setup was kind of cool enough. I would like to see more of like what this kind of goes on, because it really kind of like bottle films the thing up to like, okay, we're flying. Oh, we're back in the plane. Guess where we are, son? Earth.
The one thing, I mean, I guess this can kind of go one of two ways. I was kind of expecting them to come across some like Earth like monuments or landmarks or something just covered in moss, but they didn't.
Did they say how far in the future this movie was? I don't think they
I don't remember, but
I don't think they did. I think it's supposed to be like extremely. The only thing he found was like fucking cave paintings. I'm like, literally the oldest Earth thing on there, and that's the only thing. That's what still survives.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, maybe they're just in a part
of. Surprised they didn't dig a bunch of Nazi relics.
Yeah, bring it back around a wizard.
Yeah.
No, but I thought that the whole thing, I would have liked to, I mean, I know it's something we've seen a few times before. No, all right, here's this. we've only seen it a few times in movies. We see it more like in video games and whatnot. I would have liked to see like a city covered like in moss and vines and all that. But again, that would probably been a bigger budget. And I think this movie, it's like after you kind of fucked up on Last Airbender, so here's what you get.
Well, I think the whole point of this movie is I think it was supposed to have that sort of like primal, semi back to nature kind of feel. Because even like the themes of the movie kind of had like that life and death, like the circle of life.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing, like a lot of things, it's almost like showing a kid who kind of comes from somewhere that like you don't see nearly as much of this stuff. It's like, this is just the circle of life. Things die, but things will also save you, and you will live together as one, and
I actually, a part that it was kind of a sad part, but I got why they used it. There's a part when he gets caught by this bird, and I guess maybe used for food or something.
Yeah.
And he's dropped in this bird's nest, and he wakes up, and there's a bunch of little baby birds in there. Like, and when I say a bird, it's like a huge fucking bird.
Well, everything on this planet's like evolved to like survive against humans, and then even the plants have evolved to like withstand below freezing conditions and everything.
Because by night, generally the place freezes, and there's several hot spots you can stay in, but generally everything just goes to like below 0 temperature.
Yeah.
And there's a part where this bird is chasing him, and like what happens is he's in this bird's nest, and he wakes up, and there's these little baby birds in there, and these evolved mountain lions or whatever, or bobcats.
Yeah, they're climbing literally up like 500, like. It looked like they're like half a mile up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're gonna go to all that trouble just for a little bit of like baby chicken.
Yeah, and they
like,
start.
Fuck it, man. Like,
and they actually.
You like veal, right? It's kind of like that, but with bird. It's totally worth the climb.
Trust me. No, but anyway, and they actually show it. It's kind of like, and that's where a bunch of people in the audience are like, oh, it's like.
So they kind of have like those tearjerker parts for like people like that, like.
I wasn't tear. I mean, I was like, "Oh, that sucks," but I was like, "I've seen Animal Planet,"
Yeah.
So
I know the circle of life. I fucking saw Lion King.
Yeah. So, and
Darth Vader explained it to me in that movie.
So there's a part where he's trying to fight off the lions, and then the birds end up getting killed regardless. And he ends up getting out of there, and for a while the bird's chasing him. You think, oh shit, the bird wants revenge on him. And here's something I was sure was going to happen, and actually I was glad it threw me this curveball. I was convinced at some point in this movie they're going to find out there's a couple humans living there.
Yeah.
And maybe he's going to get a girl love interest or something.
And I was really glad they didn't have that.
They didn't do that. And there's a part that leads me to believe it. Oh, here's where it comes. Where
he's being dragged away, but you can only see it from like
his perspective.
Yeah.
Because there's a part where he's like going down a river. And even though I thought Jane Smith didn't really bother me in this movie too much. There's a few parts where he's.
I guess we never explained how he got in this whole adventure like this.
We'll get to it, but pretty much the tagline of this movie. I'll get back to the tagline of this movie is "Don't be a pussy."
Yeah,
that's really
and
the
listen to your father, bitch.
Yeah,
because like the very beginning of the movie, it's like his father's telling him exactly what to fucking do, but he's just like, look, he's like, boy, listen, cadet, boy, do this. You're not fucking doing it! My leg is fucking broken!
This is a movie where Will Smith, because I'll say
Will Smith's not yelling, but he's like very calm, but still.
He yells once or twice.
Yeah, he gets angry.
But Will Smith's a good. I'll get back to this part real quick.
Let's finish the bird part, so he's like not
left
off.
He gets dragged off. You see there's something in the distance kind of dragging him. I'm like, oh, here it comes. He's going to be saved by somebody.
By some primal savage people.
And then what ends up happening is he wakes up the next morning, and he was put underneath some brush. He gets up, and he realizes it was the bird that was chasing him down this whole time.
Him.
And it was like hunched over this brush. And that was actually kind of that part was a little bit more of a tearjerker.
Yeah, I think that was the tearjerker part, the main part. It's just like, oh, that bird sacrificed his life because he had nothing left to live for but this child who helped him.
Yeah, and that part, even though people say bullshit, which I know that wouldn't happen, but still, it's a movie.
I think it's a movie. It's a movie. The thing is, like, that's what makes real life different from movies. If you kind of go into a movie expecting real life, then fucking don't come to the movies, because that's the whole point of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see real life. That's one thing I can't stand sometimes, is things that are, like, 100% realistic. It's like, no, I went to a movie because I want to see something that's a little bit fantasy.
Unless you're seeing something that is like a bio.
Unless I'm seeing, like a biopic or something.
Yeah, and that was actually kind of a bit of a tearjerker. I was like, oh, well, and I was kind of glad they had that, because like I was so sure that's where he was going to meet just some savage people, like that he was going to become friends with, and they're going to help him out. I'm like, oh no, it's okay, good. I'm glad they threw that curveball at me.
Well, I guess we get to the whole quick roundabout of the story though. Is they crashed a spaceship on Earth. And Will Smith and his son...
It was going to be training on another planet somewhere.
Yeah, and Will Smith and his son are the only ones that survived this crash. So, and Will Smith got his leg broken. So he can't go out and get this receiver that they need to get from the tail end of the plane that's 100 kilometers away. So he's like, boy, time for you to become a man. That's pretty much what it was. It's just like, you want to become a ranger, right? You're going to do it the fucking hardest way possible because you know what? I don't want to die.
He does actually. There are some parts where he actually does kind of like beat up on his kid about like being a pussy because what happened is there's his daughter, Will Smith's daughter. She was a ranger and she died. The monsters, we should explain. The monsters, their whole thing is they sense fear. They can't see.
And they're created by the aliens that you don't ever see just to kill humans.
Yeah. They're these genetically engineered bug-like monsters.
It's kind of like aliens.
Yeah, they look kind of like that.
Well, I mean, like, it's kind of like aliens, how, like,
they created them. Like
the space jockeys created these things to, like, destroy the planets.
And anyway, so this, what was I gonna say? They like when you get scared, you send off some kind of pheromone, and they could smell that, and that's how they trace you. Mm-hmm. And without that, and so Will Smith, he's kind of like the ultimate badass of the planet because he learned this.
He's Daredevil. He's the man with no fear.
He's not scared of anything, so they can't see him, so he can kill these things easily. And Jaden Smith, obviously his son, comes in. He's and like his daughter was killed, and Jane Smith actually saw it. Because what happened is one of those things busted into their house one day. Mm-hmm. And his sister, his bigger sister, who was trained to be a ranger at the time, hid him underneath this glass bulb thing where it wouldn't smell, so it couldn't smell him. And and he saw the sister die. And I'll say, even though they didn't completely show it, something I got to give this movie credit for being is they actually did not flinch away from showing, like, I mean, they didn't show anything overly violent, but
they did show some violence.
They did not flinch away from showing violence towards children, because this could have easily been
impaled.
a PG. This could have easily been a PG film, because you kind of see it in the reflection, not enough to get detail, but you see her in the reflect, because you see Jane Smith
a silhouette where she gets impaled.
You see like Jane Smith like in the little bubble thing, like looking scared, and you see her reflection in the silhouette more or less, her getting knocked around and then getting up and just like you said, getting impaled by the thing and chucked across the room.
Yeah.
And there's a part where he has a vision, and this part actually made me jump. There's a part where he has a vision where she's talking to him saying, you need to get up. You need to get up. He says, no, I'm fine. I'm not scared. I'm dead.
That was another part though, right at first I was like, oh, here comes the humans. And then she showed her face. I was like, oh, it's his sister. He's dreaming.
Yeah. And then like, she's like, get up! Her face is like bloody. One of her eyes is all messed up and shit. Like, oh shit, so.
Well, fuck, I'm up!
Yeah. And then there's a part when he's actually going against this the main because like what happens is they had one of these monsters for training aboard the ship, and of course it gets loose. And that's kind of the big finale of the movie, him fighting off this thing while trying to receive a signal to send for help. And that whole part was, they actually showed violence. I wouldn't expect to see them show towards children. Like he gets, like the thing actually like shoots through his leg at some point. He actually gets acid on his shoulder, gets a little bloody. Nothing too much, but just enough. Like, I'm surprised they went this far for being it stars a kid.
Yeah. But, yeah. I remember this was funny. It's like, where Will Smith's like, this part just made me laugh. It's just like, he finally gets the receiver towards the end. He finally makes it, and he's like, it's not working. He says like, son, you got to go to a high point. See that really dangerous volcano over there? It looks like it's like seconds away from erupting. Go up there. I want to live.
I like that part when he's all like, because like what happens is, because they can see each other through camera, but he can't hear him.
Because after a while, like pretty much after that bird fight, I think also like his electronics get busted.
Well, it was like they were in an area. Because his personal communication device doesn't work.
But once he finally got to the tail end of the jet or the spacecraft, he had that whatever the
spare parts. And everything.
the satellite phone.
Yeah,
that's literally what it was.
The satellite phone. And the Will Smith could see him react. He was getting pissed off. He was like knocking and kicking shit because nothing was working. And then he's like, calm down. He's like thinking everything. And kind of what he says, he starts realizing.
Yeah, it's like the boy. Because the boy was like, the boy, if it starts out, he has no idea what the fuck he's doing. Through this like 100 kilometer journey, he's become from boy to man.
Kind of, yeah.
And he's learned from his father of, how to be kind of like, in a sense, a ranger, I guess you could say.
Though at the end of the movie, something I kind of give the movie credit for, because the kid wants to be a ranger, but he's definitely not made for it. At the end, he says, yeah, I don't want to do this. And the dad's like, yeah, me neither. It's kind of one of those things like, I totally get that. I think it's kind of... I think
it's meant to be sort of like semi-comic, but semi yeah, it's like, that was enough action for my life.
Well, I think it's also one of those things like...
It's not like, Dad, I'm ready to fucking kill.
Yeah.
Woo! Hoorah!
they don't have that in these, like, Space Marines.
Well, okay, that was weird. Why does nobody have a fucking gun?
I was thinking that... Well,
I thought that the whole movie, I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool that there's, like, this cutlass sword that they're kind of using. I know it's kind of like Looper, where they're kind of using old weapons with, like, a modern thing, but they call it an old weapon name. Kind of like in Looper, they have, Blunderbuss. And this one's, like, it's a cutlass, but it's, like, a modern, like, sword.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened is I think Rangers don't use guns because they had that whole battle scene in the beginning where they showed them running around, and I think since they were doing Ranger training, they just had cutlasses.
So maybe maybe that's it. But just you cast Rangers like they don't. I mean, I know I know the enemy is they're battling at the moment. It's like they don't. I guess technically need. You could use guns.
Yeah. Well, they showed up at the beginning. I mean, I have to see it again. But they have a part at the beginning when they're showing a big battle, and I want to say I saw explosions and
maybe there were some guns right there. But I just thought Strange like I have all this stuff. Like there's no guns in this jet. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like it's in the future. It just seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I know it. And I felt like it's like the main reason there is no guns is like M. Night Shyamalan's going for that primal feel. I think that's the whole point of the movie. It's supposed to. It's a sci-fi futuristic movie. But it's almost supposed to feel like a Lost World, like ancient times movie. Like he went back almost like 600 million years ago, and it's almost like the same thing, kind of.
Well, I think what was cool about the cutlass was it would be like it was like this little rod, and it was kind of like a Darth Maul lightsaber in a sense. But what would happen is there'd be different settings.
For different blades.
A different blade. Like if you have a hook blade, you can get like just 2 normal blades come out.
Just one long blade like a katana.
Yeah, they have different modes, and you kind of see that there's sort of like I don't really know how to explain it exactly. It was kind of like I'm gonna do my best. You know those things where there's a bunch of needles, you push your hand through it, you see it looked kind of like that, but it was made out of like tiny little blades.
Yeah, I kind of had that. I know what you mean. Like those things are like I don't know what the fuck they were. They're like something that like was always given to like kids back in the day.
In the
like,
90s, yeah.
Yeah, I was like I don't know what. To this day, it was kind of cool. He's like, whoa, my hand pops through.
Now,
whoa.
I think kids today would look like this entertained you.
Like yeah, it entertained us for like years.
It was like the yak back.
Yeah, like the yak back.
Or like those things like you have the balls like there was like 4 balls or 5 balls. You bring one up, you knock it, it goes tick tick tick.
Oh, you used to always see those like on teachers' desks. That's why I always remember. It was like almost like it would be like wow. He's like Mrs. Jones, can we play with your balls?
Yeah. I should explain because I was showing you visually, but
I know exactly. Like there's like 5 balls
hanging on strings.
Hanging on a string. If you pull one ball back and let it go, they go.
Hits
click,
the other
clack,
ones.
Click clack, click clack.
Yeah, the click clack. We just call it the click clack. But anyway, back to this movie. Back to this flick though. We were really easily entertained back in the 90s.
Although those things are like fucking ancient toys by now.
Yeah. But no, it's like Mexico's ball on a stick,
Yeah.
A ball in a cup. That's what it was. No, but something else with this film though, they did get the point across that Will Smith was a little disappointed in his son. Like, my son's a bitch, because he actually did say to the kid, like after his sister died, should have done something. No.
Yeah, what are you doing? Just laying there in your little tube?
How old are you? 8? I killed a man at 8. Come on.
My bare hands.
Yeah. And like so, since then the kid's trying to prove himself, and he's trying to prove.
It's kind of like it's like I think it's like. Gotta stand up to my father, but then again, fuck my dad because he wasn't there. But it gotta be cool though if my dad do.
But fuck him.
I'm confused.
Yeah, it is a little bit of that, and Jaden Smith actually didn't really bother me too much.
No, I mean, his acting wasn't like perfect, but it was. I mean, I'm not complaining. Mm-hmm. I thought it was good.
There was just parts, just like whenever there was ever some things we saw off screen, like just some sitting at the dinner table, is just like. Son, will you pass me the bitch? I mean the salt. No, just will you pass me the pussy? I mean water, please. Just sort of like hounding on his son. So there's this 9-year-old girl today in ranger training, 9 years old by the way, and killed one of those monsters with her bare hands. Funny how that works, huh? Just not breaking eye contact.
I thought you could do that.
Son, just cut like a son. Where do we look at someone when we're talking? In the eyes. In the eyes. Like eyes wide open. So, how'd that training go? Oh, that's right. You didn't pass, did you?
Yeah, they gave me a phone call on the flight down.
They said, guess what? Like, don't even need to tell me. I already know.
My son's a fuck up, I know. Couldn't even save his own sister.
Oops, that's that out loud shit. Oh, there he goes to his room.
What a fucking pussy. Go to your hammock and cry.
Go to your space hammock. No, but
You don't deserve a space bed.
I mean, that'd be like the subtitle of this episode. Go to your space hammock. But no,
one thing that's is interesting. I think it's cool that the main story was created by Will Smith.
yeah, I gotta give him credit for that. It was created by him, but then like the overall story was written by the guy who did Book of Eli and
M. Night
Shyamalan. You know, this is actually, I hope he does, because I think this is one of his better movies. So, you know.
From the turnout of the audience, like for first showing, it seemed. I mean, I was kind of actually surprised to see as many like people there because it seems like sci-fi doesn't always seem like appeals to like a majority of people.
Well, they did a smart thing, and I'm not saying this to be a dick, but they did not advertise M. Night Shyamalan's name. It was just one of those things. Surprised at the end, like boom, like M. Night Shyamalan, and people were just like, "Really?" I heard like one or two reallys.
Yeah,
that happened.
Well, there's those two old ladies there that felt like, and one strange enough, there was about 30 fucking underage kids there. And
they were loud too.
They were loud, but they weren't as loud as these ladies. Two old ladies overpowered 30 like annoying teenagers.
I'm at the point where I think I just want to. I don't even want to go to these showings anymore. I just want to go to the first showing Friday.
I'm at that point. I like the first showing Friday.
I'm at the point it's like, oh yeah, I'll just see it so we can do a podcast on it Friday. But now I'm at the point where just like, I don't know. There'll be a bunch of fucking teenagers there. Plus we're in summer now, so
yeah. So now like anybody can show up.
Yeah, and you get people that apparently haven't been to the movie since 1963.
Well, I mean, like, okay, fucking Will Smith was doing like he was extracting just a little bit of blood from his leg, and it was like, oh, blood.
Like two turkeys.
I was just like, it's like.
I think they're shaking like turkeys
that's
too.
That's fucking blood to you, like that. What the fuck is it?
Because they showed, I think it's just the idea because they didn't even show it. He like had a scalpel. He cut part of his muscle open. You saw the look on his face.
But like you could, and then he barely. I mean, like just compared to like.
I'm not sticking up for them. But I think it's just like the thought of what he was doing.
Yeah. But still, it's just like those like sometimes it's like those old people that have to like make comments to it. It's always old women.
This says a lot because progressively, when we first started off, we weren't complaining about people at the movie theater. But last podcast in a row,
like 10 podcasts,
we've been bitching about people at the movie theater. So I guess we just got to start going to different showings.
Well, it's one of the ones I always said that first showing matinee, you know, like on a Friday was mostly always the best showing because it seemed like the only people that generally show up to that one is people that really want to see the movie and people that respect the movie theater. Yeah. Where that 10 o'clock at night one, for a while there, I think because nobody knew about it. I think it was a secret, like 10 o'clock at night, no, you know. Yeah. And now, I think if you go to a rated R movie, it might be fine. I just think it's when you get to these PG-13 movies, that's when you really start to get fucked over. Generally, yeah. It's just like, I just want to live in my Grand Theft Auto world where, like, I want to make a town someday that there's, nobody under 21 can come in. There's actually, they have, it's not a huge chain, but they have the Alamo Draft House. It started off in Austin, Texas. Well, they have one. I know they have a movie theater in San Francisco that's like, it's a 21 and up one, but they just play regular movies. Mm-hmm. When you explain that to somebody, the first thing they think like, well, son, that's a porno theater. You're like, no. They play regular movies. Go to the 21 and up theater to see Epic. But and like they've connected it with they literally connected a restaurant with it, so you could literally go from like restaurant to movie or vice versa. That's smart. And I'm like that's smart though, because that's really Alamo Draft House apparently does that too. Do they not allow? I know that one has certain rules. I didn't know if they don't allow like you have booze. There's booze there. Oh, okay. So that probably. I don't know if that makes a difference in Texas. I know in California, if you started serving booze there, that you couldn't have any children. There's actually they got a fuck you and they turned around on themselves. I like this. There's like this famous thing online. Some totally wasted chick says, I wasn't aware. She like called in complaining, left a message like, I wasn't aware I wasn't allowed to talk in your stupid fucking movie theaters. You guys are being rude. I was just on my phone, just like doing that for like 2 minutes, just that. And they played that for like, I'm never going to Alamo Draft House. They just played that for a commercial online. That's badass. So it's like they got the ultimate fuck you from someone and just turned a profit on it. That's what I just love about that theater. It's just like the fact that it's like, you can't talk, you can't bring your cell phone in. It's like, it's made just so you can be respected of the movie industry, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about movie theaters, though. It's a lot of times it's like, and I know there's just not enough money out there for most places to make a second theater just for people who like respect movies and stuff. I also think if you want to get like something done with these movie theaters,
hire people that don't like have the ushers or the people running the snack bar come in and talk to them. Hire like a couple of actual security guards,
like bouncers,
and don't give them kind of like a fake little badge. Just give them kind of like a black security jacket. Get a guy maybe in his late 20s, early 30s. You know, get someone just the like arms.
Stand there cross-armed.
Yeah, because people will respond to that more. I think, you know.
What's one of those ones like I just feel
rather than some like 16-year-old kid.
I know it's like you always feel like an old man complaint, but it's fucking true. I just think that it's like they just need to have a little bit more respect and dignity, and I think the people that run the movie theaters, they need to like kind of stand up a little bit more instead of just being like a bitch and cowering over and then having to put up with all the popcorn and shit they have to clean up afterwards.
Yeah. Not to be, and also
it's one of those ones they really need. They should be up there and explain the fucking rules each time. They'd like have a guy stand there with like a baton, slapping his hand.
You may not like me. I don't like me either. Like an American flag behind him. Yeah. He's on the projector on the screen as he's walking back and forth saying this.
Just because somebody just really needs to explain. It's just like, you know what? I think all theaters should be like this. It's like, you're on your cell phone, get the fuck out. Mm-hmm. That's just it. No refund, just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
All kinds of... I know that most movie theaters be like, well, we'd fucking run out of, like... I think a lot of them think they won't be able to run.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, think about it, like, probably half the people that show up at movie theaters are told assholes and dicks.
Yeah. And that's just society.
Yeah, just society and life is, half assholes and dicks.
Yeah.
The other half are good people. I like to at least assume they're good people.
Yeah.
But we have to put up with those assholes and dicks.
We do, and it's one of those things, if there's, like, one or two of them, I'll turn around and, hey, guys, do you mind being quiet or something? But if it's when the whole theater is doing it.
Well, you don't want to get outside just to get your ass whooped by about, like, 30 fucking, like, high school students. Be like, take that, old man, you fucking faggot!
If I'm in a theater, like, if I'm, like, way outnumbered, I'm afraid, like, they're all just gonna turn to me. Their, like, mouths just drop, like... Like their mouths drop like really low to the ground, like they start sucking my soul or something like that.
But that'd be worse to be like, yeah, I just got beat up by 30 fucking football players from like high school.
Maybe one of those kids was a football player. Most of them just looked kind of like kids that were like, remember Fuse?
Yeah, like a lot of them just like, hey, yo, I'm cool, man. I'm throwing fucking Mike and Ike's in the theater.
Yeah, there's a kid chucking Mike and Ike's at his friends.
I know, it's just like, no, but the theater's dark as is. Why the fuck are you chucking Mike and Ike's?
Sean, let me tell you.
At least it wasn't. If it was during the movie, I would be like, no, you sit the fuck down. I'll bear with it before the movie starts. I'm like, whatever.
I saw you.
You can't just have like a light conversation to your friend next door. You don't fucking yell from down the audience all the way to like the top.
I saw you. You had your arms crossed. You were adjusting. You were trying not to say nothing. Like we were in the middle of a conversation. We stopped talking for a second because I just saw you. Like. You're like, like... It's like,
if the movie's going, then I'll say something. But it's like, it's like before that...
You're like, I'm in my cave, cave.
Let's just let him... Just get it out right now. Just get it out. I guess that's all we have to do. Just let him fucking say what they need to say, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, I know you had to use the restroom once the movie's done. I just saw you go in the restroom by yourself. Just start punching mirrors and shit. You fucking, like, rip a sink out or something.
I always feel bad too for like the people that work at the movie theaters. It's like when people are just like, "Oh, I didn't finish this popcorn. Whatever, fuck it." Just chucks it over to like the side, and you see people do this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I saw some.
How about these ushers come to your house and they just start chucking shit everywhere? You're not gonna like that now, are you?
I went to go see. I went to go see Get Smart with a friend of mine, and this friend, she had her high school friend, or she had her high school sister there. Mm-hmm. And apparently, I guess she didn't know it, but we were going to meet up with all her stupid little high school friends. Just 3 straight rows of kids just got on spring break, of all these, like, freshmen to sophomores in high school.
Yeah.
Just these little fucking pricks running up and down, like, girls getting up and going, like, the cell phone, like, how could you text me? That hurts my feelings. Why would you? I didn't mean to. Getting up and walking different parts throughout the whole movie, just impossible to enjoy. Mm-hmm. At some point, some like douchey little kind of like snowboarding looking kid gets up, like some 14-year-old kid with a big thing of popcorn, chucks it at some girl, then runs like 3 rows down and sits down. I'm like, I really just want to fucking kill all these fucks here. At some point, it's funny. There's just this big like Mexican cholo guy just sitting there with his arms crossed, like in one of the middle of these rows, just arms crossed. Just this huge 300-pound guy, just looking pissed off. He had a bandana just tatted out completely. He stood around. He just looks at him. Shut the fuck up! They all get quiet.
It's like, too bad he didn't do it at the beginning of the movie, though.
He just looks around like wide-eyed.
Like, building up this, like, his blood was just bubbling.
He's just like, I just got out. I don't fucking need to do this again. Gets up, just screams, shut up.
I had to go to prison for 5 years for killing 10, 20 kids in a movie theater. I don't want it to happen again.
I just wanted to enjoy this Steve Carell movie featuring Dwayne Johnson. Then he sits back down, like, they're just quiet. And that happened the last 10 minutes of the movie. It's like, if only that guy did it early on.
See, but we need people like that guy just to fucking patrol.
Just so that guy in a security jacket.
You need, like, you almost need, like, undercover movie people. Like, you don't even know they're security,
like,
so they can just kind of be like...
Like flight marshals?
Yeah, pretty much. Just take these children out, be like, just beat the shit out of them, like, in the alleyway, like... You know, if it was like in the olden days, that's what they would have done. Billy, you go home and you don't come back now.
We need the movie theater equivalent to flight marshals.
Really, that's what we need. I think that's what we're calling for.
Just have it just be some like guy just dressed up in casual clothes, just pulls out like a Regal Cinemas badge. Excuse me, we need to talk outside.
The kid starts running, like booking it down, just tases him and goes down the stairs.
Lassos the kid with like some kind of like harpoon type lasso gun, like drags the kid out. Like,
fucking he takes his horse out and just like, okay, boy, you're going down the station, and like ties him in the back. He's like fucking walking behind, like in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Any Western, right there.
Any Western, really. Fucking, they do it in The Last Stand. They're unfortunately does have a car.
Yeah, that's right. He does, doesn't he? The kid's just hanging down in some rink-a-dink, like, you know, like jail cell in the station. They're just like beating him with baseball bats.
It's like an Earthbound, like when you go like in the
So you like to talk during Epic, huh?
It's either that it's like you could almost wish they just had like adult night or something for movies. I know that like the movie theaters don't make enough money to be able to do this. This is something like you probably could have pulled off like years ago, like when movies were still popular. Mm-hmm. I think nowadays it's just like we're just grateful for anybody that comes in. You know, I mean, I know Billy and the gang like to make a ruckus in there, but they also gave us $70. So
you understand, right?
You understand.
You could actually take that guy shaking like, I don't know. He has no power.
Here you go, free movie ticket. It's like, that's not what I fucking want. I'm paying for the movie ticket. I demand to have a nice theater with nice people who have dignity.
Here's what we need. We need to get.
Just
We need
threatening the guy at the movie stand.
What did the theater needs to
through
do?
That box and grabbing that guy by the collar.
The theater needs to go out, and they need to start going from like time to time. Like, find like we need 7 different ushers that have experience this kind of thing and start build up. Get like the Magnificent 7 of movie theater ushers to come in. Like to keep everybody's
Are they hired by Regal? No. They just do this on their own free time.
They just come in. Dun 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 dun.
Just like a team of like guys like they volunteered their time so that others can be enjoyed.
Exactly, you know. Very end, just the route, because once a year the most rowdiest group of teenagers comes in, just fucks the theater up completely. Actually, no, let's make it more threatening. Frat boys. A bunch of big buff frat boys.
No, not even frat boys, because really, like, I always feel the people that really fuck the theater a lot of times they are teenagers. We all know
let's be with the teenagers. I don't know. I went to go see Avengers, and there were some guys bringing in beers and, like, chucking them, like, leaving them in the front row and all that.
Well, those are guys that still think they're in high school, though they're 24.
Okay. Maybe those guys, it's a fusion. Let's just say
those guys happen. I think those guys just don't happen nearly as often. I think that's the thing. It's like teenagers is a common occurrence. Those guys come in once in a blue moon.
Opening day of spring break, it always happens. The whole theater gets trashed, so they get these 7 guys to protect and maintain that theater.
They're like, we don't really agree with their ways, but it gets the job done.
There's one guy who's a little younger that needs to prove himself to everybody else. There's the one guy who's kind of a coward. He had some bad experiences back in like 81 maybe, but now he's kind of like refacing.
He's rising up now.
He's rising his demons. You know, he's lost in the aftermath, but he wins his honor back by the end of it.
Just be like, just take guys out just like this. It's like, what'd you do to that kid? Well, yeah, he was doing multiple things, multiple offenses, you see. I caught him talking on his cell phone, yelling at the kids 3 rows behind him. He chucked popcorn on the ground, and we found gum on the floor. This boy needed to be taught a lesson. Just drag out this bloody kid, just like knocked out. Be like,
call your mother.
Call your mother. You're not allowed to come here anymore, Johnny.
Chuck's mom. Dun 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 dun. Like, get some guy. What would be the equivalent to the Charles Bronson character? Because he can't throw just some guy literally chucking knives at children. Like, oh fuck! What the fuck? Like he's reaching for his cell phone, just a knife right through his hand.
You just have like the taser gun.
Yeah, the taser gun. Yeah.
just like Joel the fucking like shoots him across.
They go pick that guy up. He's like loading docks somewhere. Like, I don't believe it. Let me see it. Is it true? Is it true? You know, some guy's reaching for his gun. He just tases the guy.
Some kid's reaching for a cell phone. I don't take chances.
After he tases the kid down, like unloads the clip, just goes back to sleeping, like tips his cowboy hat over his head. That's what we need. We need a Magnificent Seven.
They had the Garden Theater.
Yeah.
We should start up a posse of some sort.
Posse. We're going around. We're the two broke Mexican guys from the village at the beginning of the movie. Let's be honest. That's not us. You know, we're just the guys. We're trying to build a team.
We're the ones that have to build this team.
We don't have the power, but we have the love and the compassion. So
and the willpower to start something.
Yeah. We need to find a Yul Brynner and a Steve McQueen. That's what we need.
Yeah. We got Steve McQueen. I think everything's possible from that point on.
Yeah. Probably go to the gym. We could probably start at the gym.
I think it's at the jail.
Jail.
You know, the jail, just get a bunch of guys like, hey, you want to make a couple of dollars?
I'll bail you out. He's just gonna do... Like, we didn't say you had to fucking kill the kid. He just had
like, well, what? What'd you want me to do? You said protect the theater at all costs.
He said take care of the situation. This kid was the situation.
My emotions are out of control. And I'm willing to admit that. But this boy and girl have broken the #1 rule. They put gum on the seats. Who the fuck does that?
That might hold up in court. You know, the judge's like, you got a fucking point.
He's like, one time, I sat down on a seat with gum. Ruined the best pair of pants I ever had. In fact, I didn't go to the movie theaters for 10 years because I was afraid that another poor pair of pants just wasn't gonna make it. It's just too dark in there.
It ruined Die Hard 3 for me. I can't watch that movie anymore. There's too many
bad memories. Just like gum, seats, pants. I was uncomfortable the whole time.
I was enjoying the movie. Then I got up. I realized I couldn't.
I had to pee. It wasn't my fault. They were giving out free sodas before the movie, and when I get a soda, I just kind of drink the whole thing while the trailers are going. It's not me! It's Coca-Cola to be responsible! But then there was gum!
So guilty, right? Yeah, sure.
Yes, guilty, damn it! Damn you, boy! I hope you rot in hell!
Be hung until death.
That's what we sentence anybody that leaves gum on the chair is sentenced to death.
Yeah. Maybe, cell phone. Yeah, just overnight, maybe.
Yeah, cell phones, I think they just need to be taught. I don't know, I almost feel like...
A good beating.
Yeah, they need to have like a device, just like an EMP type gun, which I don't know how that would fucking work in a theater because everything else is electronic too, but somehow, some way that like, it just like eliminates all cell phones.
Yeah.
Just when you come in, they just don't work in there whatsoever. They don't even turn on.
That right there, I'm fine with that, but I can see some people saying like this is the beginning of like 1984 or something like that.
People
just put on this collar as you come in the movie theater too. We know.
Well, see, there's some people that'd be like, now that's because you're turning into a socialist country. See, you want me go communist? Like, no. You know, this is almost how these things happens because people like you can't respect. If there's respect, then we don't need somebody to have rules. Yeah, rules happen because people don't respect.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really how that's how they're really created. If everybody had respect, we'd never have rules and we could live in a free society.
Jean-Claude Van Damme tried to teach us this in Expendables 2.
I know, exactly.
Granted, he was the bad guy, but still.
He's the bad guy, but he's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So, yeah.
Fuck it. Jeez.
Yeah.
So respect your movie theaters. Even if you don't like the people that own them, respect
them.
your movie theaters.
Yeah. Moral lesson.
Moral
of the story.
Movie theaters aren't going to be around forever. It's a dying industry. It's really not that far off. I mean, any day we could start seeing movie theaters closing up more and more.
Plus, we're getting movies that come on demand before theaters.
Well, and plus, you can get a fucking 100-inch TV now in your house for not that expensive, really. Yeah. When it gets down to it.
Or even like a personal projector of some sort.
I mean, like those projectors will blow you away. Like how like
this is the reason why people don't go to movie theaters.
Well, I think like, a lot of times this is the most common thing I hear from movie theaters. Or from people that don't like to go to movie theaters anymore, they're like, one, it's the price, which I was kind of like, oh. I mean, compare that price to everything else you do. Okay, where else are you gonna go for $7.75 for 2 hours? I mean, where else are you gonna get that entertainment for 2 hours? That's how I always kind of look at it. You know what I mean? But the other price they always say it's the people. They're like, I can't stand people talking. I hate when people, have their cell phones going.
Yeah.
I hate, and that's where I know a lot of people that's like the crowds. I know a lot of times people, it's like, well, what day of the movie theater do you go? Well, I go Friday at night time. You're like, well,
exactly.
there you go.
You need to go like Friday, like first showing in the morning.
Yeah, maybe Saturday, Tuesday,
or even like Monday or Tuesday or Thursday or whatever.
Yeah, you really just need to avoid the weekend.
Yeah,
because on Friday nights you get the horrible teenagers. Saturday nights you get the same teenagers.
Saturday mornings,
Sunday you get
Saturday
the
mornings
Sea of Grey.
could go either way. Saturday mornings
you let times get the families. That's what I kind of notice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sundays you get the Sea of Grey.
If you got like a R-rated movie Saturday morning, I think you're fine.
Yeah, a lot of times depending on what the movie is, you can do that. But and then Sundays you get the Sea of Grey, which can sometimes be like the worst. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so there we go. Yeah. Respect your theater. It's there for you, but it won't be there forever.
And After Earth was decent.
Yeah, After Earth. Yeah, go see it. It's got Will Smith in it.
Kind of forgot we were talking about that for a second. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
My voice kind of hurts.
Yeah, I wonder why.
That's too much yelling. Well, check out oldmanorange.com for everything Old Man Orange. Check out our videos. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Put comments on all our websites from Vimeo to YouTube to Newgrounds and Podomatic. Okay, we'll see you later.
Goodbye.